Hello, this is Casey from Casey Grandpa Tech, where your geeky grandpa talks tech, fun stuff, and much, much more. Hey, I went to go see Venom 2 in the movies this weekend, and I want to give you a quick review. And at the end, I'm going to give you some spoilers. I'll let you know I'm doing that. So if you've already seen Venom 1, you'll understand a lot of what I'm saying. But it leaves off originally, basically, where Venom 1 ended. Basically, Eddie and his girlfriend have broken up. She's dating the doctor, and that's where we are at. And Venom and Eddie are having a relationship issue. And I'll get into that quite a bit in just a second. So, who stars in this? I'll talk about that real quick. Now, of course, you have as Eddie, Tom Haney, and as our psychotic killer, you have Woody Harrelson. And I have to tell you, they picked this cast extremely well because of all the people to play this psychotic killer, who is Carnage. It was a well thought out choice in acting. Now, the other choice, of course, is you have Eddie's ex-girlfriend, Michelle Williams, and, of course, Naomi Harris, who plays Scream. If you remember from the comics, Scream was the person who could open her mouth and let out a sonic boom or attack, and if she did it against you, you were going to die. So, really an excellent cast, really an excellent movement. Okay. The main thoughts, of course, is that it lets off exactly where it let off from the original movie. And that, of course, is we begin. Now, I'm going to have let you know there's going to be a few spoiler alerts. I'm not going to ruin this too much for you. But basically, if you recall, one of the things is that Eddie promised Venom that he could eat all the bad guys he wants. Well, as they begin, they're in their apartment, and unfortunately, Eddie has not allowed him to bite off the heads of all the people, because the way Venom survives is there's a chemical that's found only in chocolate and in the brains, whether it be human brains, cow brains, chicken brains, whatever brains it is, he needs it. And he's arguing, I'm starving, you're not letting me out, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and they are like a married couple. You know, Venom is cooking breakfast and things like that, and they're going back and forth. You're a loser, no, I'm not, blah, blah, blah. Venom starts throwing things like the spouse would, including throwing the TV out the window. It's an hilarious scene. And it goes on and on. At the same time, underlying story begins about who this psychotic killer is and his girlfriend and how they got originated. So they do the background story of both of them, where they eventually meet at a institution, and he falls in love with her, and it goes on and on and on. She is taken away, and he can't see her again. He's been locked up for years. And as the story goes, he's longing for her. The scene goes on, of course, is that Eddie and Venom go see him to have this conversation because of his editor, to get the story about what's going on and where the bodies and where they're buried and all of that. And of course, he's not giving any information, but Venom happens to notice things going on in the background. I will not get into that, but together they figure out how he thinks and where he thinks, which again leads to the story going further. Of course, there's more scenes where, Eddie and his ex-girlfriend are meeting for dinner, and he wants, of course, that relationship to continue, but she's already moving on. And Venom and them start having an argument. That is probably the most fun part of the movie, is the banter between Venom and Eddie. where you're a loser. You shouldn't let her go. You know, Venom is his alter ego. Okay? Forget all the fight scenes and everything else. Just the banter between him and Venom, and then the things that are going on, is hilarious if you catch it. In fact, you may have to catch it 3 or 4 times before you get it. And the story, of course, is that what happens is Woody bites Eddie, and you've seen this in the trailers. Some of his blood goes inside of Eddie, from Eddie into him, and when they go to terminate him, he turns into Carnage, and of course breaks out of prison, and all things are going on. At the same time, the relationship between Venom and Eddie gets out of hand. Venom and Eddie decide to go their own ways, but of course, without each other, they're just basically lost. You know, Eddie is a loser. Venom is trying to fit in, but as you've learned from this whole experience in the movie from watching Venom 1, and you understand that Venom is a symbiote that has to be perfectly matched to his host. Otherwise, the host dies. And so Venom is going from host to host to host. Okay, and that's a story unto itself. The scene at the party is crazy, and I think you'll enjoy it, where Venom comes out at a Halloween party. Hilarious. I mean, to look hilarious. At any rate, of course, at the end, the two of them are set to fight each other, and the CGI graphics are pretty crazy. Between, you know, Venom doesn't want to fight Carnage because apparently there's something about when his son has more powers than he does, and there's pretty crazy stuff. And if you got that from the first part of the movie, where each one of them was a different color, and depending upon their color, depending upon how many weapons they have and how much power they have. And the other thing, of course, is that Carnage doesn't care about killing people. He has no moral advantage because he's dealing with a psycho killer. So Carnage eats everybody, doesn't care, where Venom is restricted. And you'll get into that fight scene, but at the very end of the movie, when they're at the church and they're having that fight, it is an extremely well done fight scene. But the CGI graphics have something, they're not as well done as I would have expected. I mean, and some of the scenes are quite non-believable would be the best thing. And, you know, like, when you watch a CGI graphic, you know that when you have an object that's here, there should be a shadow here and things of that nature. There's a lot of mistakes in that scene, but that's okay. Now, I'm going to bring it all together. At the end of the movie, after the battle scene and everything else, Eddie and Venom are watching a Spanish love movie, and the Spider-Man comes on the scene. Now, as I had said in the very beginning, one of the biggest problems that has been occurring is that this is the multiverse. So the storylines from the original comics, from the original movies, from the original everything do not match up. As you know, Venom originally comes out in the comics where he merges with Spider-Man, and you have the black Spider-Man and the symbol with Venom inside. In this version of the multiverse, Venom is with Eddie, but it concludes at the very end of the movie where Venom and Eddie and Spider-Man are going to meet each other. And I'll leave it like that. Like I say, the movie is not perfect, but for entertainment purposes, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think you'll enjoy it. Until next time, this is Casey from Casey Grandpa Tech Out. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And check out Venom. If you watch, but be sure you watch Venom 1 before you go.